Hello friends, today I am going to learn some basic mathematics like mm, mm, to learn like a data science, machine learning and artificial intelligence. So it's a data science. So let's see here the data science, machine learning and AI like artificial intelligence. So first we will start from the basic mathematics for basic maths. So it's a see basic math. So for the this one, so let's start from the natural numbers. So what is the natural numbers? Natural number, it will start from the 1 2 3 4 5. Next the whole number, it will start from the 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 till infinity. Integers, it's a positive and negative integers. So integers, it's a negative sides. If you go the backward from a 0 like a -1 -2, and it's a positive for the 0 1 2 3 4 5 until here. Another we will discuss like means need to the learn here the rational numbers. So rational numbers, it's a p upon q form. It's a rational number. It's a p by q form, but q shouldn't be the equal to the 0. It's a called a rational number. Irrational numbers, the irrational numbers cannot be expressed in a fraction. So this is called irrational numbers. So irrational number like a root 5 root 6, it's a pi, root 3, it's a root 2. These are the irrational number. So many things. So it's a next is the real number. We can say the real numbers is the include a rational number as well as a rational numbers, and complex and imaginary numbers like in the mathematical way, just iota is a complex number. If you write like a, it's a complex number, right? 3 plus 4i, it's a complex number. It's a real part. This is called a real part. Real part. And this is called a imaginary part. Imaginary part. Right. So these are the basic. But just whenever we are using in like a programming language, so how do we write some thing in a Python? So let's see here. Suppose if you want to the create the another value, let's see. So here we want to the like a solving and expressions in a Python. So let's see here, solving an expression in Python, just in Python. So let's see how do we write the. So first we are creating the one value like expressions. It's you can write here my and value. It's my underscore value. It's a value should be equal to 2 will multiplied with the 3 and plus 2, and it should be like a, it's a square of this one, and now it's a divided by 5 minus 4. If you write the anything, it's a now write here 5 minus 4. So let's see what happened. If you want to the print here my value, just print and parenthesis like it's my underscore value. So let's see what happened. So we have gotten like a output, and it's taking a time, don't worry, but we have gotten like, so this may be elementary, but it is still critical. So in code, even if you get correct results without them, it's a good practice to express something. Look here, we have gotten here. So like the both it's an example like it correct, and if you write the other way also, it will be correct. Similarly, next we will discuss like a what is the variable. So it's a variable means in the Python, that is the like you can assuming as something. So you may have a variable x represent any real number, and you can multiply it with a variable without declaring what it is. So we take a variable input like a x from user and multiply it by 3 and others integers. So let's see here. Next how to create a, let's see here the variable. It's a variable. So we are assuming like just x should x as a variable, and we will create like an integer. Inside of this parenthesis we will try to use up input functions. So it's a input, it's a functions, and now I am going to write here the inside of this parenthesis is, look here, we want to write something. Please input a number. Please input a number. Please input a number, and like a slash in it should be like an input. So input, and I have even, but yeah. So let's see, and now product should be, and we have created a one variable, and what is the like a, its product should be something like a 3 stars. It's a variable, 3 will multiplied with a variable. Now I want to the print here, it's a print and product. So let's see what happened. So we have created one value. So let's see, just I am putting here the 5. I have gotten the output here. So it's a px means x as a variable. So x like a integer underscore input. So please, so if you are putting the another value, let's create the another times, and we will see here now. Next time we are putting here 12 and put into button, so you will see here what happened. So it's the triplet of this x 12, it becomes the 36. So there are the some standard variables names for certain variable types. So if these variables names and concepts are unfamiliar, so don't worry, but the some thing like a recognize, we will use like a theta to denote the angles, beta for the parameters in the linear regression. Greek symbols make a weak word like a variables in a Pythons, and another we would like to the name these are variables theta beta, so in the Pythons. So don't worry, we will discuss. So let's suppose I am taking a beta as some specific value and theta is the some specific value, and we are expressing the some subscript variable like a x1, x2, x2, x3, so multiple variables, and then we will create like a one more variable. So before that we try to understand what is the functions. So let's see here. Okay, so first I need to the erase here. It should be like a move from makeup, should be select. Yeah, just I have erased, and now I'm writing there's something like a functions. It's a function. So what is the functions are expressed that define the relationship between the two and more variable. It's a relationship between relationship between two and more variable. It's a two and more variable. So it's a two and more variable means a function takes the input variable. This is called a domain variables, and independent variables is also, and it plugs them into the into an expression, then the result in the output variable is also called a dependent variable. So let's see, suppose I am writing here y will equal to 2x plus 1. It's a simple linear functions. This is called a linear functions. It's a linear function. So it's a linear functions means for any given x value, we solve the expression with that x to find a y. So when x is a 1, then we will get a output like a x will equal to 1. So your dependent variable will equal to like a 2 times it's a x is the independent variable plus 1. So it will, your answer should be like a 3. So if you take the like x will equal to 2, similarly we can get the another value like y will equal to 5. Similarly we can take the x will equal to 3 and so on. So different value for the y will equal to x plus 1. So functions are useful because they models a predictable relationship between variables such as how many fires y can express expect at x temperature. So we will use a linear function to form a linear regression. Now the another conventions you may see the dependent variable like a y is to be explicitly label the functions of x and such as like a fx. So we can also write like this one. It's a look here, it's a fx. So don't confuse. So fx should be equal to like a 2x plus 1. So it is declaring a linear functions in a Python. So let's see how do we write these functions in a Python. So let's go and okay, so let's look here. Let's select how do we write the linear functions in a Pythons. So write linear function in Python. So Python. So let's see. First, we will create a def. So let's see here def, and your functions like a f parenthesis like a x. So you have created your own functions. Look like this, slicing, and now we want to get a return like a, because return should be like a, it's a 2 star, it's a, we have taken like a x and plus 1, so we have taken as a variable. Now I want to, it's a, I have created this is this value. So let's see here, it's a working or not working. Now it's a work. Okay, after that we will try to write here the another like independent variable. So we will create a list. So let's see, if I write here x underscore values, and it should be like a equal to, we will create a list here. It should be 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3, it's right. So I have created a value, this one, and I want to describe this value like a for loops. So let's see, it's a for x in x underscore values. We have created like a x underscore, it's a value, and its y should be equal to fx. So let's see, this means fx and y is equal. Now I want to, let's see, print y. It's a print, and let's see y. So let's see what happened. So when dealing with real numbers, a subtle but important features of a functions is they often have an infinite number of the x values and resulting y values. So ask yourself this, how many x values can we put through the function y will equal to 2x plus 1. So let's see here what happened. If x, you are putting a value in hands of the x as a 0, so we have gotten output 1. Similarly 1 you have put a, we have gotten output 3, 2 you have gotten output 5, and we have gotten output 7. So this is the way in the different value for the y, and we can easily get the output result. So it's a, and similarly we can also write some algorithms, and we can plot these functions. So let's see how do we plot these functions. So let's try here. Now we need to the import the sum other. So charting a linear functions in a Python using a SMPy. So let's see, from sympy import, it's a whole SMPy. So let's see modules. So it will be import here from SMPy import. I hope, yeah, it has been imported, and we have already created a previous variable. So let's write the same variable equations express, let's see, and just we can put here the some other name of this variable, and just I want to the plot, it's a plot, and if you can also write the same thing, just it doesn't matter, you can write also the y is easy. So it's a easy, very simple. So we can see here like a x-axis and y-axis look like this. So 2 times x, and should be but it's not plotting. So what happened, this is something, let's check it. So I think x should be equal to symbols is y m ls, it's a symbols, and so right should be excel. So let's see. Yeah, it has been imported. So if you want to plot this using a Python, and there is a number of these charting libraries from a Plotly to Matplotlib. So we will use the SIMP to do the many tasks, and the first we will use the plotting functions. SIMP uses Matplotlib, so make sure you have the package installed, otherwise it will print an ugly text based graph to your console. So it's a good to look here. So you can see here, so your chart is look like this. It's a passing through here. So I think it's the charting or linear functions in a Python using a SIMP. It's a clear. Next, if you want to import here like a SIMP, and we have already created, but we do not get a straight line, but rather than a smooth symmetrical curve. It's known as a parabola. So it is a continuous but not a linear. So it doesn't produce a value in a straight line. Curve functions like this mathematically harder to work with. But we will learn the some tricks to make a not so bad. So let's see here. Just I am going to change here. Look like it's a, as it is like this. It's right here. And now I want to create this value because I want it shouldn't be like a straight line. So what happened? It's look like a your symbol look like this. So what did, so I have done your look like your value will look like this. It's a oh. So previous we have discussed here like a 2 to the power. If I want to write here 2 to the power x, so what happened? But if I write here 2 to the power x, let's see here. If I write here 2, it's a power x. So what happened? Look here, your chart will be look like this. And if you are writing like a it's x to the power 2. It's a yeah, look like your chart is look like a curve. So we can easily create a multiple curves within a minutes and within a seconds. So similarly, we can also use like a means the functions utilize the multiple input variables, not just the ones. Like we can have a functions with the independent variable x and y. So if we are taking a two independent variable like this, it's a let first we can erase this one. It's a two independent variable. So let's see, we have two independent variable. It's a two independent variable. It's a this means how do we write? It's your functions look like this. X and y functions, x will equal to y, and 2x we can write here with 3y. So we have two independent variable, one is the x and another is y, and one dependent variable output of the functions x y. So we need to plot this graph of the three dimensions to produce a plane of value rather than a line. So it's a, let's see the how do we plot this equation. So let's try to see. It's a, so we have already imported simply, and but we are creating a 3D. So we have to create like a, it's a from simply import and another from simply dot plotting import plot 3D. And we will create a two functions, so x comma y, two variables, sorry, and it's a symbols, it's a x and y. So your symbol should be like a x comma y. And now I want to create a functions. F should be equal to like 2 to the power x and 2 into x, 2x plus and minus, it doesn't matter, 3 into y. It's a two variable linear, and now I want to plot 3D, plot, it's a 3D, and it's a f as a variable. So let's see. So I have plotted like a 3D functions. So it's a very simple and basics from the simpy import, and from a simpy dot plotting import a plot 3D x comma y will equal to symbol x and y, and functions will equal to this. So these are the basic mathematics, and I hope we are using a simpy to a graph of the three-dimensional functions, and it is able to understand this. Next terms we will try to understand like a summations. Summations means just some of the observations. So it's a Greek symbols. So let's, there is a one that is so common and useful. So like a summations is expressed as a sigma. So let's see here how do we express. So give me a, let's see, first I need to the e ratio. So it's a two variables, so first I will write here summations. So let's s u double m-a-t-i-o-n is, it's a summation. And if I want to as like a summation symbol, so it's look like this. You can, it's a summation symbols, it's approx, and I am writing I should be equal to 1, and we need to the write here the 5 numbers, and it's like a we are representing like a 2i. So how do we describe here? So this means it's a 2, it's a fix, and we need to the write 1. Similarly 2 it's a fix, and we need to the write here 2, and we 2 is a fixed here, and we need to the write 3, and 2 is here fixed here, and now the 4 is a here, and 2 is a fixed, put here the plus, and 2 here fixed, and it should be multiplied with a 5. So let's see, its answer should be like a 2, it's become 2 times 2 becomes 4, it's a 6, it's a 8, and it's a 10. So what will be the answer? So 6 12, and 8 like a 20, and 10 it should be 30 is your answer. So this is the performing a summation. So how do we perform the summation in Python? So let's see here. Let's go, and now I am going to create here summation. So let's see here, I am writing here SU summation should be equal to like a sum. I am using here the sum function, it's a sum, and we have written equations like a 2i. So let's see 2i, and after that we write here like a, we will use like a 4. What is the I? So I in a range. So what is the I? So it's a 4i in range. I in range. What is your range? So let's see in the previous, let's see here, you can see here range will equal to, I will start from 1 to 5. So just if I am using here in the range, so I will start from the 1, but end will be, because we need to take a 5 value, so we will complete here the 6, because 6 is not included, this is the excluded. Now after that we did write here print, and it's a summation. SU it's a summation, it's right. And now I want to the print here. It's clear. So we have gotten the 30 output here. So here I is like a placeholder variable. I is like a placeholder variable representing each consecutive index value. We are iterating in the loop, which we multiplied by the 2 and then sum of all together. When you are iterating a data, you may see a variable like a xi indicating an element in the collections at index I. So range we have already discussed. Similarly, we can also write it is also the like a common see the n as a representate the number of the items in a collection, like a number of records in the data sets. So let's see, suppose I want to write here, it's a look here, I want to write here is the summations I am using here, and I want to start from the I should be equal to 1, and now it's n. So it's a n, and we are going to create a like a xi. It's this type. So how do we write in the Python? So let's see, first we will create the x as a list, and we want to the specific digits like 1 4 6 and 2 here we have created, and then we will create like a n, it's a length of this one is the x, and then we will write here the summations and then print here. So let's see how do we write the 10xi, and it will start from I will equal to 1 till n, and how do we get the summations? So let's see the summations of elements in the Python. It's a summation SU, summation of element in Python. And first we try to create here like a x as a list. So x should be like this. If I want to write here 1 comma 4 comma 6 comma 2, and second n should be equal to, n will equal to len, it's a x. Now I want to write here summation should be equal to sum and 10 star x I for I in range 0 comma n. It's a range. And now print summation. So let's see here. And I have gotten result 130. So let's the summations in a simply means that is the gist of the summations, and in the null sets summations say add a bunch of things together and uses an index I and a maximum value n to express its iterations feeding into the sum. So it's a very simple. So we can easily create here. So I think it's a good way to try to understand. And next, it's exponents. We will try to understand like exponents are the multiplied the number by itself specified a number of times. So when you are raising like a 2 to the power 3, it's we can say the 2 into 2 into 3 into it becomes a 8. Similarly, the base is the variable and value are the exponent exponentiating like the exponents is the number of times multiply the base value. Similarly, the exponents have the few interesting properties like x square, x cube. So if we are multiplying like a like this, like a x square should be multiplied with the x cube, it becomes like a x to the power 2 plus 3, and now it becomes x to the power 5. Don't multiply its power because base is the same, so we can power can be added. So this is called a product rule. So it's a simply add the exponents, and we know this is a called a product rule. But if you are dividing like this, like x square divided by x to the power 5, so you can cancel it and you have gotten like a x to the power, it's a minus 3. So this is the explore the division, And similarly, so x to the power minus 3, and another, if we have a x to the power 0, this is called 1. If I write here the x to the power 0, this is called 1. Okay, so these are the basic exponential rule we are using in algebra. And but how do we simplify these expressions with the simple? It's a easy and it's not a difficult. So let's go here and we can write here like exponents. It's a x should be equal to x should be equal to like a symbol should be like a symbol. It's not a symbol. It's ymbols. And next we want to the like a exponential. So expr. So we can take a variable expr as a variable, and we want to write here x to the power. It's a 2, and it should be divided by x to the power. It's a 5. Let's see 5. And print here. So print ex. It's a e xpr like a exponential. So look here. It's a look like this. It has been printed. So now about this fractional exponents, they are and the so many alternative ways. So let's try, and you try to write here like sometimes the cubic roots and x to the power 2 by 3 and something. Similarly, x to the power pi is also, and same thing, just we are using the logarithms like a log form. So we should go here like a log. Okay, it's a log means we are writing here 2 to the power x. It should be 8, and this is called a logarithm. Okay, so it's a so x will equal to the answer like a x will equal to 3, and this is a what's a log functions. This is called a log functions. And similarly, if I write here, it's a this functions is a log v. So should I write here log 2 8 should be x, and now a to the power x will equal to b. It's a important formula. Log a b should be equal to x. So algebraically we can speak like this, but how do we solve in the using a log functions in a Pythons? So let's see here. Log functions means first we need to the import log. So from math import log. So let's see here, from math import log. It's a log, and now I want to write here x should be x will equal to log and we want to write 8 comma 2. Just we have already written equations and print x. So I want to here print and x, and I have gotten the output here 3. So when just we have already by hand we have seen it's a, so when we do not supply a base argument to a log parenthesis functions on the platform like a Python. So similarly, so many rules has been uh, given in the logarithms way. So some basic properties try to understand. So let's try here like multiplications, exponential form and logarithm form. So let's suppose I am operator is your multiplication is a operators. So if I write x to the power n into x to the power n, so should I write here x to the power n plus n? And how do we write in the log? So let's see, log we can write a into b, and we can write here the log a plus log b. Similarly, in the division way, it's of my operator is the division. So should I write here x to the power m by x to the power n? So it should be like a log, x to the power m minus n. But how do we write it in the log? Log like a upon b, and it's a should be right here log a minus it's a log b, right? So in the exponential form we can write x to the power n in like exponential way n, so we can write x to the power m or n. But in the log we can write a to the power n, so we can write here n times log a. And 0 exponents, so should I write here x to the power 0 will equal to, it should be the 0 will equal to 1, and here we can like the log 1, it should be like a 0. And inverse way we can write x to the power minus 1, it should be like a 1 by x, and in the log terms we can write x to the power x minus 1, it should be like the log 1 upon x, it don't think about like a differentiation, and minus log x, it's right. So these are the basic way we try to the understand these properties. And one of the most important in this property like one is the Euler forms. Okay, so it's a math import like a exponential, and we can write these terms. So I hope I will try to solve in the next class, and it's will be like a helpful for some others also. So thank you very much.